Don't buy your house now. That's what I could say most of the times at the moment, because there are so many reasons why it's not the good time to buy a house. Even when it's a good time to buy a house and the market is great, still you need to answer a lot of important questions to really know if you need to buy a house or not. First question is why you need to buy a house. So many people buy a house for totally wrong reasons. Because I find sometimes people buy a house because they want to have a sense of stability, sense of achievement. But when you buy that house with a huge mortgage, how is it supposed to be stability? How is it supposed to have some kind of achievement? Because you bought with a loan, with a debt, with a mortgage. So that means it's a low level of achievement. So why people buy a house? Because so many couples are buying a house, and that means that other couples who doesn't have a house, now they feel the urge of compare themselves with other couples. So other couples buy a house, so that means we need to buy a house as well because we are their age. So that means that if we are not buying a house, maybe we behind. But people who are able to understand the high level of delayed gratification and putting money into things that really could allow them multiply your money in the long run, those couples, those people, those individuals will win at the end of the game. So first thing, we need to understand that when we choose to buy a house, we need to understand that the house is most on liability. Unless you're buying a 2 or 3 or 4 bedroom house and you are planning to rent that other part for Airbnb or any other way to rent, so that means it could generate some kind of income. But if you're planning to buy a house and live just by yourself, the only expenses coming through the house, all the interest rates, all the maintenance, all the things that you need to purchase for that house, all will take out the money out of your pocket. And when you're establishing your marriage, your couple lifestyle, that money is very, very important. And that money could be invested in yourself as an individual, in the traveling, into the business. So I truly believe that young couples are not supposed to invest money in buying a house. Now, when I look at you buying a house, especially now, nowadays we are most likely moving into recession. We're most likely we are already in recession. And the next couple of years, that in my opinion, that a lot of real estate will go down. So that means if you buy a house now, in 2 years, the same house that you're buying now most likely will be 30% lower price than it is now. So maybe if you really think about buying a house, waiting for a few years could save you potentially a few $100,000. It depends on the price of the property. So that means if it's $100,000 property, let's say it could cost $70,000. So you save $30,000. Maybe it's a $500,000 property. So that means you potentially could save $150,000 on a property, and it's a huge money. And think about your current salary, and if you're making $50,000 a year, that means that you potentially, by saving and waiting for 2 years, you're potentially saving your 3-year salary. And there's a huge difference. So that means that it's very, very important to understand that it's not how you feel about buying a house, but what is a good decision for you. Because people who are rushing into purchases, especially in buying a car as well, a car is liability and will never be an asset unless you will rent to other tour, or there is options to make money from the cars. But majority is liability, and people buy cars just to show up in front of their friends that they're saying that, oh, I achieved great success because I'm able to afford a car and paying those monthly payments. But that is a wrong success, because success is when you have freedom of your time and money, and that's how you achieve your freedom from money and time, when you really have a cash flow coming in. And when you buy property, house and car on monthly payments through interest, this is not success. So I hope that when you will think about buying a house now, you reconsider. When you think about buying a new car, you will reconsider. And if you're able to buy a house for right reasons, when you afford it, then it's a good time to buy. And I think that at this point is a good time to wait, because in 2 years will be the best time to buy a real estate and buying a house. I hope you'll choose to win, and see you tomorrow.